Hey, give me a cold one.
Hey, Tang, take a cold one.
Hello and welcome back to another weekly waiver wire presented by the one and only Gaming Dad. Yeah. Before we get started, please do us an enormous favor and smash that like button, click that subscribe button, check out our brand new Patreon. We're going to be starting a new email weekly where you can ask direct questions, have input on future content, and just get, direct communication with us. All our donations will be funneled to our graphics designer and pumping out more BA content for you, our amazing viewers.
Yes. Thank you for any kind of subscribes. But let's start out with some bad news to these fantasy leagues. The injuries, of course, they always take a toll. And hopefully we can give you some insight and you can get ahead of the game and get out there on that waiver wire, which we'll cover below. And you can pick up somebody to replace them people. Starting out with the Cleveland Browns.
So this guy personally lost me my game last week. Thanks a lot, Jarvis Landry, for suffering that MCL injury. He's going to be going to an MRI, but he is done for the season, as he should be, considering once again I'm now 0-2 because of him. God, I hate this dude. Next up, we got Baker Mayfield with the Cleveland Browns. He dislocated his left shoulder, then just popped it back into place and was good to go. I got a feeling that won't be the last time it's going to be dislocated this season. I'd keep your eye out on him.
Yes. Next up, we have the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, Tua. He left Sunday's game with a rib injury, but I don't think it's anything serious. Either way, plan for him not to come back in the next week, but I think he will. Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook. Left the game in the fourth quarter, but did return to finish the final drive of the game. Said to be a light ankle sprain. Coaching staff didn't seem overly concerned about it, but knowing the coaching staff and how important Dalvin Cook is, I would expect him to be out one game just for safety precautions. We also have Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson suffered a knee injury in the last play of the game that really didn't need to be thrown or didn't need to even happen. No word on his status, but we need to keep a close eye on it and see how the practices go this week.
Next up, we got the Atlanta Falcons with Russell Gage. He injured his ankle. He was ruled out for the remainder of the game. No further information given. Definitely be careful about putting him in your lineup. We've got good old Amari Cooper with the Dallas Cowboys, who cost me my game last week. I love seeing all these injuries from people that cost me my games. Man, I need to play Cora again.
Oh, Lord.
Amari Cooper took a shot to the ribs. He did not return in the winning drive. So we'll see. We don't really know for sure. We got the Chicago Bears. Andy Dalton had a knee injury scare. The spokesman made it clear that he can play through the injury and he'll start next week. But if I was another defense, that knee's getting taken out. I'd be very careful.
Yep. Los Angeles Rams running back Darrell Henderson exited the game against the Colts with a rib injury in the second half. But all news points to him not being too serious. Indianapolis Colts quarterback Carson Wentz possibly became the first player in NFL history to sprain both ankles. So we will keep a close eye on that.
Ankles? How do you do that?
Yo, he got juked out of his shoes. No, it's like, anyway, we'll keep a close eye on this historical moment and keep you posted. If anything interesting comes up. Let's see. Expect him not to be the starting role against the Tennessee Titans next week.
Both ankles, bro. He could be out for a while.
San Francisco's 49ers running backs. I said it right. Running backs. They lost 3. Trey Sermon with a concussion. Eli Mitchell, which I said in the last waiver wire to pick up because he was going to do some good work. He went out with a shoulder injury. And then Jermichael Hasty. He had an ankle, left the game this weekend and did not return. What a mess. So Kerryon Johnson, I know, is on that team. So maybe he'll be starting out. Who knows? San Francisco is a hot mess. 3 running backs in one game. It's rough.
Sounds like San Francisco's done running for the season. Next up, we got the Houston Texans. Tyrod Taylor pulled a hammy, the QB, against the Browns. He is expected to sit Thursday against the Panthers, so make sure you've got a sub. The Jacksonville Jaguars, O'Shaughnessy was looking hopeful, and then another ankle sprain happened, and he's gone. He's got way too cool of a name to be a good quarterback, I'll say that.
Tight end.
Oh, tight end. My bad.
It's all good. All right. So as you see, it's quite a laundry list of names. A lot of problems with the ankles, lots of problems with the knees, and lots of problems with the ribs. So, yeah, we have that's rough. So let's get started. What you guys really came here for? Who are you going to pick up to fill in these slots for all these broke ass ankles, these injured ribs, and these shoulders and these knees? Well, J.D. McKissick from Washington football team. He's owned in only 45% of all Yahoo leagues. Caught 5 of 6 of his targets for 83 yards and a rushing touchdown. Looks to be the back for quite a bit of passing yardage. And with it being the Washington football team, most likely they'll be competing to keep up, or they'll be competing to come from behind. So they will be throwing the ball. J.D. McKissick probably be a good pickup. Alexander Madison with the Vikings, Dalvin Cook possibly being out for a week. He'd be an easy handcuff to throw into your lineup. He's only owning 29% of the leagues. I would definitely pick him up and throw him in there, especially if you're a Dalvin Cook owner. Next up, we have Tony Pollard from the Dallas Cowboys. Hey, Zeke Elliott is not the Zeke Elliott of old, and Tony Pollard has been coming out there, still being out-touched by Zeke, but he's putting up just as much numbers. So I say grab him. If Zeke ever takes any kind of little blow, Pollard will be right in there, and he will easily fill that void. But he is right now still making points with Zeke healthy. So I say pick him up anyway.
All right, let's see if I can get some positions right this time. For the wide receivers, we got Darius Slayton with the New York Giants. Jones knows Slayton and might have wiggled his way into the number 2 receiver slot, so it's looking very good to pick him up. You know, it's a risk, but I'd still recommend it. We've got Zach Pascal with the Colts. 2 weeks in a row, he's put up solid points in fantasy. He looks to be a pretty solid pick, but their QB just went down, so you know how that goes. And then we've got KJ Osborne with the Vikings. Wide out. I thought that was possibly a fluke in week 1, getting 9 targets. But, yeah, it was definitely wrong. He seems to be the real deal. He got another 6 targets this week and a TD. The volume is there, definitely, and he seems to have the talent. And this guy is owned by no one at all. 1.1% in the Yahoo leagues.
Tight ends. Let's move forward. If you're unhappy with yours and you need a back, or if you just need a backup, Jack Doyle from the Colts, seeing weekly targets and producing solid points for fantasy teams. Week 1 was a little bit slow, but he got a little more work in week 2 and caught 5 of his 8 targets against the Rams. Dawson Knox from Buffalo, one of NFL's most elite quarterbacks, Josh Allen. He's very comfortable with Allen, and as he gets more comfortable with Allen, he'll see more targets. Allen is a good quarterback, and he throws a lot. So I think he'd be.
He did last year. I don't know about this year, but
we'll see. And then we have Albert. Yes.
I love how you just say yes.
Akubanum. All right, from the Broncos. Right, from the Broncos. He's a tight end. Caught all 4 of his targets for 24 yards and stuck in a nice touchdown last week. Not saying he's going to be a smash grab, but if you need a couple points, he is definitely touchdown dependent. But he seems to be a big body in the end zone, so might be pretty easy.
All right, and this week we're going to cover some defenses we didn't cover last week. So Arizona's taking on the Jags. It's definitely a favorable matchup.
That's for sure.
Panthers front line is intense and looking solid. Panthers are really rocking it this year. Until their running back gets taken out anyways. Vegas is taking on Miami, and Miami just got 35-0. So I would say it's a pretty easy call, especially with their QB now done for the season. And surprisingly, the Raiders are looking really good this season.
They are. They look pretty solid. And last but not least, let's go over some couple quarterbacks. So Derek Carr from the Raiders, looking very, very consistent with 800 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 pick. And that's in 2 games. So he's only owned in 27% of the league. So if you need a quarterback, look up Derek Carr. Daniel Jones with New York Giants. Who is this kid? Like, where did he come from? Maybe this is his year. Last 2 games, he's thrown for 500 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, none. He's thrown no picks, pretty damn consistent. He's also rushed for 122 yards and gotten 2 touchdowns. So I'm a little impressed here. Let's go Daniel Jones, right? And this is what I would expect more from Josh Allen. But Daniel Jones, New York Giants. Hey, whatever. And then you got Jared Goff. He goes against Baltimore next week. If you need a quarterback and those are taken, you could go with Goff. He is putting up points. He's with the Lions, okay? I grew up in Michigan for some time, and I was a Lions fan. I was disappointed a lot. We went 0-16. We went 0-16. Like, that is amazing, right? So, if you want to, he's only owning 15% of Yahoo leagues, and you need a quarterback. He is putting up some good numbers. Go ahead and grab him, play him for a week, and then hopefully you can move back to your starting quarterback.
Oh man, 0-16. I wonder if there's more 0-16s or 16-0s. I wonder which there's more of.
Oof, I don't know.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. There's our picks for quarterbacks, defenses, wide receivers, and running backs. There's all the injuries you need to quick kick off your roster, like I did this morning. Yeah, I get the picks before you guys do. Yep. That's gonna wrap up our weekly waiver wire. Covered a lot of content, but wasn't too bad. A ton of injuries, and hope we gave you some solid options. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching our video.
Thank you.
We really hope we're impressing you and you like this content. Again, I know you're tired of hearing it, but please click and subscribe and check out our Patreon. And we'll have more content coming out for you soon. And with that, Gaming Dads out.